expunged, either you successfully completed probation or the law changed and marijuana possession or sales is no longer a crime. And so how can we wipe the record clean? And this was the way to do that. So we're very happy for this day.
So
Are you guys the first?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely
In the
the
state.
first to do it this way, yes.
And is the code that your internal department wrote, would that be a public record that other coders could be able to
I don't
get?
know, but thank you very much.
I need some direction. Miss Bassi is here, and Miss Bassi is being Miss Bassi, and I caught her on camera turning on her camera/video function on her iPad. I can't confirm she's not recording or not,
I guess
but
he thinks that it
she
doesn't
is acting
apply.
very Miss Bassi-like. If you can please give me a call, we can get some direction from you, what you want me to do. I'd be really appreciated. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You guys, public defender's office?
Yeah.
You guys rocked the other day when you went out and did those care packages for the homeless.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna.
This is Susan Bassi, and this is the Santa Clara County District Attorney, Jeff Rosen. Mr. Rosen is the most powerful law enforcement officer in all of Northern California. He makes over $500,000 a year and manages a staff of over 600 employees, which include prosecutors, staffers, and members of the Victim Witness Services Office. Mr. Rosen has spent his career mainly prosecuting people for marijuana-related crimes. He has not prosecuted public corruption, bad police officers, or white-collar crime. He has allowed people who have committed murder to get off with no jail time, while people who had marijuana-related convictions spent significant time in jail, and many have not been able to clear their records. So when California legalized marijuana, we made a media request, and that's why we can show you what happened in the hearing. We're going to show you what Mr. Rosen told the court and what he told reporters and the public, because when an attorney makes a misrepresentation to the court or to the public, especially when the attorney has the standing that Mr. Rosen does, that attorney can be criminally prosecuted, removed from office, and indicted and disbarred.
I want to thank everyone for the time and the effort they put into this. I'd like to turn the floor over to Mr. Rosen if there's anything you'd like to add on behalf of the District Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to echo some of the remarks you made. When this proposition was passed,
Mr. Rosen's statements in court sounded like a carefully scripted play. He hit all the talking points designed to keep himself in office. He talked about saving taxpayer money. He talked about his brilliant technology skills and how hard he had worked to expunge the records of those he had convicted over the course of his 10-year career. And when he was finished with his statements in court, Mr. Rosen went outside to meet a group of reporters working for corporate media in the local news. And those reporters typically repost exactly what Mr. Rosen says in a practice known as stenographic journalism.
It's one fewer obstacle that remains for someone to get a job or to get housing or to get different kinds of assistance. And it's really something that couldn't have been done without terrific collaboration with our public defender's office and our court, and of course having really good information technology people in our office, as well as Brian Buckaloo, who supervised our narcotics team. And if you saw the reams of paper of all of the names of the individuals in all of the cases, it's about several inches.
Mr. Rosen is describing public records, and when we asked the county about those records, they said they did not exist.
Done this, and I think the other thing that was very important to us is that if we say that the conviction is expunged, that it's really expunged. We're very pleased to have done this, and I think
Over 9,000 residents in Santa Clara County had an expectation that their records would be expunged based on Mr. Rosen's comments to the media that day.
they think their conviction has been expunged, and then they apply to live in an apartment or to get a job, and it shows up on a criminal record. These convictions that we expunge today will be gone immediately. Conviction is expunged, that it's really
Mr. Rosen used the specific term immediately, and yet 2 years after he made those statements, we find that the records have not been expunged for many individuals whose lives continue to be impacted, and the false information that Mr. Rosen spread through the media continues to deny them the ability to be heard.
Possession, cultivation, possession for sale, and sale. It's the 4 major categories of offenses that qualify. Sure. So I presented the court with 4 different petitions. Each of the 4 petitions represented a certain kind of marijuana offense: possession, cultivation, possession for sale, and sales.
So all these people are out of jail. It's just that their records are in
office and holding people accountable.
Mr. Rosen has also filed pleadings in the court telling them that I'm a dangerous threat, and as a result, he requires taxpayers to pay for a bodyguard to keep me from him and from asking him questions. But that didn't work out very well for him on this day.
Write the code for the
We wrote it ourselves.
And individual people inside the DA's office were hired to do that?
No, we were able to write this code without any additional expense to taxpayers that will enable us to instantaneously.
Fact-checking Mr. Rosen on the issue of taxpayer waste is an easy one. Mr. Rosen came into office over a decade ago. He immediately started kicking back overtime payments to all of those in his office who politically supported him. And now he wants us to believe that that same office is volunteering and not costing any money to do his projects related to these expungements. Mr. Rosen has spent $5,000 of taxpayer money to produce YouTube videos that have under 200 views, and he also charged taxpayers to go on a field trip to Alabama to learn about civil rights issues, something he should have been taught about in school back in the 3rd grade when he was in Wisconsin.
Technology team in the DA's office. They're very hardworking and motivated, and we gave them this project, and they got it done quickly and with no expense. Given the DA's office and holding people accountable.
Only the SanJose Mercury would believe that Mr. Rosen could get a project done quickly and with no expense. Their reporter, Robert Salonga, reported exactly what Mr. Rosen had said without any public records, fact-checking, or investigative work. The SanJose Mercury has been endorsing and supporting Mr. Rosen with favorable reporting for over a decade. First, it was Tracy Kaplan, who is in Jeff Rosen's cell phone, and now it is Robert Salonga. And when a newspaper gives a district attorney, an elected official, favorable reporting, they are failing the public, and they are violating public trust, not only in the political candidate they are covering, but also in local news.
Get it out of other systems that maybe, other computers talk to each other and they go to other databases?
Well, the databases that we're removing this from are the local criminal offender databases, which then feed into the statewide criminal data offense, criminal database, and so this will remove it from all of those databases, and then it will shortly be removed from the court's internal databases as well. So it's a good way to give someone that fresh start. I mean, the idea is your conviction's expunged, either you've successfully completed probation or the law changed and marijuana possession or sales is no longer a crime, and so how can we wipe the record clean? And this was the way to do that. So we're very happy for this day.
So
Are you guys the first?
Yes, absolutely the first to do it this way, yes.
And is the code that your internal department wrote, would that be a public record that other coders could be able to
I don't
get?
know, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Business and Professions Code is the law that governs licensed attorneys, and if an attorney makes a misrepresentation to the public or to a court, they can be disbarred and they can be criminally prosecuted. Mr. Rosen didn't like my question very much, which is perhaps why he always has 2 bodyguards and is trying to get restraining orders against me at every opportunity. Mr. Rosen didn't like my question on a subject that he claimed to be an expert and the first in the state in, because it doesn't exist. There were no public records that show any database, codes, or software that Mr. Rosen had talked about on that day. And Mr. Rosen abruptly ended the press conference as soon as I asked a second question about the topic. California used to prosecute crimes related to marijuana, and now they no longer do. They also used to prosecute crimes related to skateboarding, and now we give skateboarders safety equipment and taxpayers pay for safe parks for them to skateboard in. And maybe one day Mr. Rosen will be removed from office, hopefully disbarred and indicted. And if he is, just then maybe we will no longer prosecute people for taking photographs.
Please stop recording.
Right now, I am trying to do my job.
Stop recording.
I heard you.
Okay. Stop recording.
I heard you. Excuse me.